Good morning everybody and welcome to the Royal Court Theatre and today's port presentation. I hope you're all enjoying your voyage so far. I've had some wonderful feedback about the tours you've already been on, so I'm really glad you are enjoying the shore excursions programme we have put on for you this voyage. If you haven't met me already, my name is Charlotte and I'm your port presenter on board the Queen Victoria. So the next port destination I'm going to talk to you about today is Livorno. Give you a little bit of an introduction to the area itself, information about our berth, and the main highlight of this port, which is the gateway for us to get to Florence and Pisa, two of the most iconic and beautiful cities in Italy. So it's just a very brief introduction this morning, hopefully give you an idea of how to spend your time ashore. So Livorno is an Italian port city on the west coast of Tuscany and the third largest city in the region. It's considered one of the most important gateway ports of Italy because of the access we have to Florence and Pisa. There isn't a great deal to do in Livorno, I have to say, so just be prepared for that. And the main reason we dock here is because it gives us this access to Florence and Pisa. We're docking in a large commercial dock away from the city centre, so there will be a complimentary shuttle bus service running throughout the day should you wish to stay local. If you have booked a tour with us, straight off the gangway you will find the tour buses and a member of the Shore Excursions team on the dockside there to show you exactly where to go. If you're independently minded and wish to go and explore on your own, there is a train service that will get you to Florence and Pisa. Please bear in mind Italian transport is notoriously unreliable, and in the past I have seen guests miss the ship because of last minute cancellations. So please leave plenty of time to get back to the ship, as it is quite a long swim to our next destination and we really don't want to leave anybody behind. So let's have a little closer look at Florence and Pisa and the reason why we dock into this gateway port. So to the east of Livorno is Florence, renowned for being one of the world's most romantic cities. It's the capital of Tuscany and it houses more than 370,000 permanent inhabitants. Historic Florence is surprisingly compact and the majority of the major sites can be reached on foot. The city is separated in two by four major bridges that connect the north and the south side. The central bridge is without a doubt the most famous, the Ponte Vecchio, or the Old Bridge. It's the oldest surviving bridge in the city, dating back to 1345 during Roman occupation. Shops and buildings line the length of the Ponte Vecchio. You can't miss it. It's easily recognisable and understandably the most photographed sites in the city. So make sure you find the Ponte Vecchio when you go. The main historical centre of Florence is to the north of the river, and it's this area that's full of monuments and churches that gives Florence its title of being the cradle of the Renaissance period. Rising right out of the heart of the city is the Santa Maria del Fiore, this beautiful, richly decorated church. It's built with typical Florentine determination to outdo everything else, and to this day it remains the tallest building in the city. Right in the front of the Santa Maria Church is the baptistry, which is believed to date back to the 4th century, making this the oldest standing building in Florence. Now, it's impossible for me to talk about all the wonderful sights to see in Florence. You need many weeks to thoroughly explore the area. However, here at Cunard, we offer 2 shore excursions that really help you make the most out of this one day we have here in Florence. And so really get a good introduction, and if you like it, you can come back and explore it further in the future. So the first one we have is Introduction to Florence, a full day walking tour of the city. You'll be taken straight from the dock to the city centre with a local guide. You'll then be taken on a guided tour of the city. She'll tell you all about the major sites and really bring the city to life for you. After your guided tour, you'll have about 3 hours to explore at your own leisure, sample the local food, wander the streets, soak up the sights, whatever you wish to do. That's really your own time to explore as you wish. Then the coach will bring you safely back to the ship. The second option is Florence on your own. So this is perfect for those who like to sightsee independently, or maybe you visited the city before and just want to go explore a little bit further. So this is simply a transfer service. We'll take you from the ship to the centre and drop you off, give you a meeting point and a time, and you can meet there and we'll take you back to the ship. Maybe it's worth doing a bit of research before you go to make the most of your time in Florence. It's also worth mentioning Florence is an hour and a half each way, so we really do recommend you take one of our organised tours to get to Florence. because should we be delayed for any reason on the coach, the Queen Victoria will wait for us. Now, I've done both tours I just spoke to you about in Livorno, and they were outstanding. My background is history of art, and I felt like I was walking in an outdoor art gallery. Here is me under an outdoor sculpture of the David, and this is me when I did Florence on Your Own, and I independently walked to a very high point, and you get a bird's eye view of the city, seeing the famous Santa Maria del Fiore rising from the centre of Florence. So there's really a great deal to do in this city. So it's really worth going a little bit further and taking the day to explore this city. Now, if you don't want to do a full day tour, you have the option to visit Pisa. And Pisa, we offer 2 tours, and they are half-day tours because Pisa is only about half an hour away from the port. So Pisa, of course, famed for its Leaning Tower. Pisa is around 30 miles away from Livorno and sits at the mouth of the River Arno. And although it's known worldwide for its Leaning Tower, the city actually holds more than 20 historic churches, a 12th century university, and several palaces. This is the main site, of course. This is the Field of Miracles, a large expanse of lawn that houses the famous Leaning Tower and many other beautiful buildings that tend to get overshadowed by the Leaning Tower, but are well worth exploring while you are here. The Leaning Tower is actually the freestanding bell tower of Pisa's cathedral. It stands, or leans, just behind the cathedral itself, and it's the 3rd oldest structure in the Field of Miracles. Now, this is the cathedral. This construction of the cathedral began in 1064, and it stands as one of the finest Romanesque buildings in Tuscany. Standing beside the cathedral is the baptistry, dedicated to John the Baptist, and construction of this building began in the mid-12th century, and it's the largest baptistry in Italy. The circumference spans 110 metres, and it stands just a few centimetres higher than the Leaning Tower. So the 2 tours we run to Pisa are designed to suit everybody in some way. So the first one is a half-day excursion to Pisa. Please bear in mind there is a 20-minute walk on this particular tour from the coach park to the Field of Miracles. So if you're okay with mobility, this could be a good tour for you. So you'll be driven from the ship to the designated coach park. Your local guide will then walk you to the Field of Miracles, show you the important buildings, give you a history of the buildings, and then you'll have some free time to take it all in, take some photographs, get to do a spot of shopping and take in the sights. Then you'll be driven back to the ship and you can spend the afternoon as you please. Those of you who think you may struggle with walking or mobility, the other option is Easy Pisa. Now, this is a popular choice as it involves minimal amounts of activity, but you still get to see all the sights. So on arrival at the coach park, you'll get straight on a trolley train to take you to the Field of Miracles. Now, I am 5'11", and I have to say the legroom on the train can be quite tight and a little bit bumpy, but that's just the nature of this transport. And it eliminates the 20-minute walk, so it really is worth it if mobility is an issue. So you get a narrated journey of the city on the way to the Field of Miracles, and then we'll disembark at the Field of Miracles and have about half an hour to explore on your own. It's very easy to get good photographs of the building in a short period of time because it's only a small area and the buildings are grouped quite close together. And if you can't stand too long or walk very far, there's plenty of coffee shops to sit at and soak up the sights while you are there. So it's very nice and easy, this tour. And again, back safely on the coach to enjoy your afternoon. Now, of course, when you're in Pisa, you have to get the classic picture to show your family. This is me when I went last year, so you'll see everybody here trying to get that perfect photo of you holding up the Leaning Tower. So make sure you get that while you were there to document your time in Pisa. So now you've had a brief introduction to the delights of the region and hope you understand a little further about why we dock into Livorno. It may not be a spectacular place in its own right, but what's within reach of the port is outstanding and places to make unforgettable memories. So if you have any questions about Livorno or would like to book yourself on a tour, do come and see us as soon as possible, as these tours do book up very, very quickly. And any more questions, please do come and see me and the team, Deck 1 Midships, and we can help you in any way that we can. So thank you very much for coming today, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day on board the beautiful Queen Victoria.